If you're an online business owner, an entrepreneur, any kind of content creator, and you care about your privacy and security, I suggest to not use these web browsers. You're probably asking why? Well, that's because you are constantly being tracked and profiled by these big data companies who sell this information to the highest bidder. And not only that, hackers and social engineers and other forms of bad actors can take advantage of the weak security protocols that's embedded with these web browsers and use it against you in many different ways. As you can see with the numerous amount of attacks that happen to large streamers, influencers, and people with just online followings, they get targeted the most due to the weak security protocols and the services that they use. So, what are some ways that you could prevent it? Don't worry, I'm going to bring to you 3 privacy-focused web browsers that you can use to actually strengthen your security and be not like the 90% of folks who use these services and get taken advantage of on a daily basis. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the first web browser that we have is LibreWolf. Now, if you're a person who came from Firefox and would like the Firefox experience, but without all the fluff that Firefox may bring, LibreWolf is just for you. Now, LibreWolf is just a fork of Firefox. It's basically just like an open source alternative to Firefox. Everything that Firefox is, except that it just is pretty much de-Googled. You have no telemetry, which is data being sent back and forth to Mozilla. It's very privacy focused by default, straight out of the box. It comes with the nice extension called uBlock Origin, which you should get, by the way, if you want to just block ads, unnecessary pop-ups. That is your way to go. And it also uses DuckDuckGo as its default engine instead of Google. So all of your information isn't tracked. I would say, you probably shouldn't want to use DuckDuckGo either, but it's good. You could change it to whatever you want. If you go into the settings, you could actually change it to whatever search engine that you want to use by default, and it's pretty good. Now, second is we have the Mullvad browser. Now, Mullvad is created by the people who created the Tor project and the Mullvad VPN. I don't know if you ever heard of Mullvad VPN. You probably haven't, because a lot of creators don't really like to mention it a lot. Only the ones who are more privacy focused, because everyone wants to have ExpressVPN or Nord. The fuck. Anyways, now if you're a person who likes to remain completely anonymous, the Mullvad browser is just for you. And like I said, it was built by the people who made the Tor project, which the Tor project is a web browser that's used to go through the dark web and all that, and you can browse through it safely and securely. And it pretty much comes with a lot of features that browser has in this one. So has the same anti-fingerprinting technology. It's designed to be used with the VPN. So if you have Mullvad VPN or even Proton VPN, which is free, you can use it in conjunction with each other. It's very minimal. It does come with the uBlock Origin extension as well by default, so that you can block all those unnecessary ads as well. It's pretty much maximizes anonymity while used with the VPN. So it's pretty much like having that Tor-like experience without really having, Tor at all. So the Mullvad browser is a fork of Firefox, just like how LibreWolf is. And you get pretty much the same features as you would get for the other one. So you can add bookmarks, you can get extensions and change themes and all that. The only thing is that Mullvad has its own web browser and has some of the security features enabled by default, which you can change in the settings. It is a little bit of a learning curve, but if you know what you're doing, then you'll be fine. But if you want to stay and remain anonymous, Mullvad is the way to go. If you want the best of both worlds, you can get over to number 3. Now, the third, last but not least browser that you should use is the Brave browser. I would say is probably one of the best of both worlds if you want to just have casual browsing, and if you came from Google Chrome or Safari from before. The Brave browser is great. It has everything that we just described in the other browsers before, with also a built-in ad blocker, so you don't even need to get uBlock Origin as an extension. It already has its own. It has its own Brave Search, which is a private search engine that doesn't really use any Google search results. It's its own thing, so you don't have to worry about that. And it also comes with a VPN, but you have to pay for that, obviously. But if you really want that nice Chrome-like fast experience, everything working very nicely, you don't really need to tweak any of the settings. And also, if you have bookmarks from other browsers, you can import them very easily through here as well. Same thing with LibreWolf. Also, as great as Brave is, there are some security concerns that comes with Brave, and it has to do with the Chrome extensions. Now, if you didn't know, Brave is a Chromium browser. Chromium being kind of like how LibreWolf is to Firefox. It's a fork of Chrome or an open source alternative. With that, you can still use things like the Chrome Web Store and use it and getting browser extensions and whatnot. The only thing is that these browser extensions, they also collect data on you that Google might do the same thing. So you have to be very careful as to what you download and what you install on your browser for it to be as secure as possible, just to let you know. It's not going to be as anonymous as Mullvad, but it is way more user friendly. So like I said, if you're a person who just really likes to just have things work right out of the box, this is definitely for you. Just to sum up everything that we just talked about, if you're a person who is used to Chrome and Safari and you want some decent privacy, go with Brave. If you were a person who came from Firefox and would just like a better security version of that, use LibreWolf. And if you're a person who is a complete paranoid weirdo like me and would like extreme anonymity with a VPN, definitely use Mullvad. That's pretty much all three of those. And I would say that when it comes to doing these things, using these browsers, it's not really just to protect yourself, it's also to protect the other people around you as well, because the sites that you visit, these links that you may click, a lot of these browsers that you may use that are more popular, they'll just go through without even checking exactly what it is. And they have a lot of things that's enabled by default that allows attackers to steal things like your cookies, your login sessions, even the things that you may type online, your passwords that you have stored, X, Y, and Z. And not to mention that a lot of these companies, they track a lot of data, like a scary amount of data on you, so that they can profile you, especially Google, so they can profile you and then sell that data to advertisers so that they can put better displayed ads in front of you. Now, if you're a business owner, obviously this is ideal. You'd want this to happen so that you can have better ads for your ideal customers. But if you're a person who is the business owner, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want that happen to you. Now, it might sound very hypocritical, but it is what it is. You don't shit where you eat. By default, I think that using these browsers, especially since you have something to lose, for the average Joe, it's not really that important, which is why 90% of people use things like Google Chrome and Safari. But for the people who actually have things to lose, who actually care about their privacy and security because their entire life is tied to it, aka their business, using these web browsers are way better for your security and privacy, and you'll be miles ahead of the folks who just use the default. That's pretty much it. And just remember that security is an illusion, but awareness is a solution. As long as you stay aware, then you'll be staying safe.